Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight I'm hanging out with all these fine nerds. As you see, Carlos is back with us. Of course, we have Nerdarchist Ted, we have Bobby, Robin, and Jezi. There are links to all of them in the description, except for Carlos, because I forgot Carlos was coming back. But it'll be there. We will get it there. We'll make this shit happen. We're gonna play some Zoo Mafia, but not your typical Zoo Mafia, where we're just regular zoo animals in a zoo during the day doing zoo animal stuff, but at night trying to commit crimes. Instead, we're playing the furry version of Zoo Mafia, led by our zookeeper, Nerdarchist Ted.
Well, welcome all back to Furton City. I believe this is session 3, and our animals here have gotten into quite the conundrum. They started off in session 1, not really being attached to the nefarious life of crime just yet, but they were downtrodden and down on their luck and thought, well, maybe this might be a way to turn things around. So they began investigating and looking into what they might be able to do to, well, see what that world is about, or for some, see what that world is about again. They staked out some locations, they came up with some interesting plans, and as is always the case, things have to change on the fly. We go to the Precious P, where they stake it out. They find a way in. They take some bootleg liquor, and of course, as is always so used to happen in Zoo Mafia, we split the party, and we split the party 3 ways. As Rosa is driving away in the moving van full of crates of liquor, a police officer's lights flash on behind. Tumbleweed left the Precious P. Mission accomplished. He began, walking about the city streets. Meanwhile, Jonas and Sugar stayed in the club to kind of keep the party scene rolling. And as the lights flash behind Rosa, a familiar figure comes into view as a handful of cats wind up approaching Jonas and Sugar, and they hear the word King Tom. So while this moment settles, Carlos, why don't you introduce your character?
So we have Boomer, Boomer, Boomer Lagwell. Excuse me. He is a koala driver. He's of a specific type of animal you guys might have seen before. Not typically seen too much, but if you guys were a fan of Tully back in the day, you guys are gonna love Boomer. And with that, I'll pass it off to whoever else needs to be passed off to.
I want to hear more about Boomer. Where are you? What is going on?
Well,
with Boomer.
Well, Boomer does what he can in the day, and now he's looking for work here and there. And he picked up a gig just driving around some just goods, you know what I mean? This version's world of Uber Eats, if you will. And he's like, all right, let me just see what's happening around. And he's doing what he can to earn an honest living. He's just driving around town, delivering food here and there. That's what he's doing right now.
All right. So, describe to me, and I'm gonna put some agency here. What bizarre circumstance has led Boomer to being wrongfully detained by the police?
Do you know how the feds are and whatnot? They kept giving me the business about a broken tail light here and there, and I'm all like, listen, I get it fixed. I'm good for it. They didn't want to hear it this time around, so they're keeping me held up.
So for whatever reason, you've had a run-in with Officer Pawn. He is a pug, short of stature, but full of attitude. And maybe you look down upon him from your higher vantage point as he pulls you over about the tail light, and you give him a little bit too much lip, and he winds up pulling out his billy club and yanks you out of your honest living, throws you into the back of the patrol car, and hauls you into downtown for attitude and 2 broken taillights as he brings his bugle stick against the back of your vehicle.
As he does, I'm like, hey, what is that about? Profiling me is wrong.
So, Rosa, you've got the lights flashing behind you. What do you do in this?
So I guess I'll pull off to the side.
Okay. So you pull off, doing what you're expected to do, and
as I do, I'll light up a cigarette.
I'm laughing because I know where this is going to the audience, not to just the thought of lighting up a cigarette is not funny. So another canine steps out of the vehicle, and as he approaches and kind of raps on your window, you take a brief notice, and it says Officer LaBouffe on his uniform.
Evening there, officer. What can I do for you?
So this van, the plates are coming back as something to be on the lookout for.
You don't say.
I do say.
So with that, I will reach down and pull out a stick of dynamite. How about a light, officer? And I'll light it off of my cigarette. And then I just want to shove it into his jacket.
All right. So I'm gonna have you do 2 rolls here.
2 rolls. I'm really bad at 1 roll.
Well, I'm gonna say, let's have you, crap. Where is it here? Commit a caper. Thank you. Let's have you commit a caper to see how well you can stealthily light a stick of dynamite.
Okay. Well, I'm not terrible at that.
Oh, it should be your best stat. So.
Okay. Well, my best stat is a 2. So let's see. That's a 5. That's a 9. So that's an 11.
Okay, so that is the success. And then now, you're literally bringing the heat. So let's see how well you can apply your dynamite in this moment.
All right. Ooh, that's not a good number. That's not a bad number. That is a 9. That will be a success with consequences.
All right. So I'm going to give you a choice. You can either kind of fumble the dynamite. It's still gonna get him, but it's not gonna be enough to completely off him like you wanted. Or there's gonna be a panic moment and the blast is gonna catch, either you in the van or the van in its radius.
I think Rosa does not fumble. I spend a marker.
Okay. All right. Wow. All right. So you spend the marker, turning the roll into a complete success. So we see this, as you take a puff of your cigarette. Cigarette comes down to the stick of dynamite that's in your hand, and casually left-handed, you just stick the dynamite into, in between two buttons of this officer's uniform, and maybe even with a flare, just shove him back a moment. He fumbles, and a moment later, bits of Officer LaBouffe begun raining down upon the street, and thunk 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 into the top of your van. I imagine at that moment you shifted into drive and take off.
Yeah, he was probably shifting into drive as he was doing it. see my little amigos, I told you it'd be perfectly fine as he passed the rest of his dynamite. We will just not tell Jonas about this.
So, as you take off, about 30 seconds later, we'll zoom through the van, and we pace back to the police car behind you, where another canine, sitting watching in the passenger seat, sees the stick of dynamite go off. His canine jaw drops. The coffee cup in his hand gets dropped to the floor, and he quickly shuffles over into the driver's seat, shifts it into gear, and begins following. Tumbleweed, as you're strolling about the city streets, it's in the wee hours of the morning. You've successfully done your job. What's going through your mind at this moment?
So he's pretty much, I think he's chilling, honestly. To him, it is about to be a very good day. Everything has gone according to plan. So, he is just kind of hobbling his way home. He's going to have a nice time. Nothing has gone unexpectedly. Everything is nice. He's probably even going to be whistling a little bit and just thinking about, man, it is so nice that everything just went right. For one time, everything went just right. This is what I'm talking about.
Go ahead and put your peepers to work.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, I baited this. I knew this was what was coming. Let me grab my other one real quick. Okay. So that's not 15 is not on a D12. That was a D20. Hold on a second. Okay, that's still a high number. All right. So I got
15 minus 6, that's a 9. Plus I rolled an 11.
So I got 4 plus 6 is a total of 10.
All right. So as you're strolling around, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tumbleweed, carries a cane.
Yeah. Yep. he
So I
carries a cane.
imagine, I imagine you're doing that, that old cane twirl.
Mhm.
There's nobody
Yep.
around you. You don't have to be, fearing about hitting anybody.
Well, Dave already
So-
established we're playing Looney Tunes, so if I do hit somebody, it's like not a problem.
Sure. So how in, if you really wanted to do it, the old timey movies, when somebody's out walking at night and they hear but don't see the sound of footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what is going on here. You don't see anybody yet, but you can distinctly hear, the telltale sound of shoes hitting hard surface.
Okay. So he's gonna like stop and see if the footsteps continue.
As you stop, probably like a heartbeat to a second or two later, the sound stops.
Okay. And then he's gonna take like 2 more steps and stop. This is literally like those silent movies, right? Where you kind of like creep along and wait a second.
And as you begin walking, again, the same exact distance of time that, there's the interval of, you stopping and it stopping. When you start, it starts.
Okay. What buildings are nearby?
I mean, it's you guys are in the heart of the city at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of buildings around. It's not like you guys aren't in the suburbs. Like you're 10 minutes away from, the club that you guys were just at, the Precious P. So like there's some rickety street lights and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
every so often interspaced, but it's the wee hours. So it's not like there's lights on all over the place. It's Quietsville.
Okay. Are there any storefronts?
Sure.
Okay. I would like to pick up a rock and throw it into the nearest window.
Okay. So you grab a rock and you break your way into Carl's clothier.
Okay.
Do you go in or do you just make a racket?
No, I'm just making a racket, and then I'm like taking several steps away, like further on my trek, and then looking confused, like what just happened?
All right, so I'm gonna interpret this as whether you're looking for it to be a distraction or whatnot. I'm gonna take this as a means of intimidation.
Okay.
So I would like you to start spin.
Okay.
Make a magnetism roll.
Oh.
See if this scene can drive away, whether it be the threat of yourself or the threat of possible law enforcement.
Right. Okay. Let me pull up my character sheet. I'll roll while I'm pulling up my character sheet. That is the D20. I don't want the D20. Why do I keep grabbing my D20?
Because you really want to succeed on the roll?
I really do want to succeed on the roll. That's correct. I don't think I succeed. I did get doubles. They're double ones.
Oh.
One is on the bad boss.
Oh, you've got doubles, a bad boss, and a fail. Oh
Yeah.
my word.
Okay, so those are double ones.
Okay.
I have a 1 plus 3 is 4. So I get experience.
So, well, before you go further with that, this is one of those things that it is almost the gimme. If you want the XP, you can get it. But failure with the enemy boss is you lose a marker.
Yeah.
So there is really no downside to saying I just want to succeed and turn in the marker.
Bet I'm doing it. Thank
right.
you, helpful GM.
So it's you know, it's
Oh
still
wait,
one
that's
of
only my
those
first
things.
marker because I gained one and I couldn't take it off. I remember that now.
Right. So this might be one of those things that, you know, Dave and I have to discuss, or as the group we discuss, of like, all right, maybe this particular thing, you know, has the caveat of once you roll this, it happens. You can't spend the marker to change this roll. You know, but
I'm cool with you
know,
saying that. If you want to be
No,
like,
no,
it
no, no,
doesn't
no,
make
I'm-
sense, I am totally cool with that. Or if you want to say it costs 2 markers, I'm cool with that too.
No, I as it's written right now, that's how it works. But I'm saying maybe this is something that we think about. We play these games to play test these rules and
Right.
and what happens. So, you know, that's just there. So all right. So the glass shatters,
Okay.
and you distinctly hear the sound of the rapid footsteps, but it is now receding.
I would like to look and see if I can see who is following me or who was following me.
All right, put your peepers to work.
I am not great at that, guys. I just want you to know this. Like,
That's
this
fine.
character, I am making all the worst decisions. I got doubles again. And it's like, and they're not even like doubles that count as doubles for the D12s. They're like actual doubles because I got 2
Okay.
7s before. Now I got 2 8s, which is not great, by the way. And one of there's no bad boss. There's
Double
no
twos.
bosses, period. So that is 2 plus a 3 is 5. I got 5.
All right, so that is a failure. So you do get your XP,
Hey.
but failure with doubles is you're going to take a -1 forward.
Okay.
So you don't see who. I'll say that, you know, as you turn around and watch, you know, there is the street lights that are there, and I will say that there are 2 figures that move through the shadows, but as they are darting away, they're moving too quickly, or it's too far for you to gain any kind of information off of them, other than their number.
Okay. But you know what? This is one of those times, being a banker, right? Because he used to be a banker, and he used to rely on going to the sheriff if there was a problem. So he's not in the criminal mindset yet that the cops are always a bad thing. He's more of the mindset that, like, the cops can be useful in certain situations. And I think this would be one of those situations. So he is going to make his way to the local police station, because they will be stupid to follow him there, and he can at least tell them, I was being followed, there's something weird going on in this town at night, I think there might have been a speakeasy at this location, just to, like, add insult to injury about Sugar's terrible employer. Those whippersnappers were probably from said speakeasy. They probably had a little too much to drink, thought they could get one over on an old man, you know, that whole 9 yards.
All right, well we'll get to that moment, you know, in a bit. But as you mentioned the precious P, let's go there for a moment. Sugar, Jonas, you watch as, you know, these cats begin approaching you. Let's see here. Where is that information? Cradola. All right. Well, I'll deal with that. You watch as these cats are approaching you. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna ignore them and keep talking to the bartender and drinking.
You know what? That's a power move. I think I'm gonna support that and do the same thing. Like, I'm seeing the sheer amount of just audacity that you're serving, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'll have some of that too. I light a cigarette.
But I'm gonna make it look like I don't notice them, I guess. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty fine with them knowing that I do.
All right. So you watch from, the back as Penny, the owner of the Precious Pea, kind of comes out and goes up to the table where this larger cat seemed to be, hurting his underlings. There's a brief conversation, and then, this small group of cats comes over to you guys, and, they seem to be waiting for just a moment as you guys do your power play of, well, I'm not gonna pay you any mind. And they get closer, and they get closer, and you guys continue your act.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I absolutely gonna keep like outwardly ignoring them, but I'm also preparing, right? So like,
Sure.
Having our conversation at the bar and acting like I don't notice or give any F's about it. I'm also gonna like look for something to use as a fist pack on the bar and just subtly palm it.
Okay. So I'm gonna say probably the easiest thing to do would be to grab an ashtray. And they're cleaned often enough in this place that you probably can find a clean one. You're looking for something to put in your fist to give it some extra oomph. So just explaining to those who might not be familiar with that particular term. And to also confirm that you and I were thinking the same way. One of these cats kind of begins to get close enough that it's obvious that he is putting himself between the two of you and like kind of circling Sugar.
Oh no. See, I'm not going to just allow this.
Okay.
Like he can try to slide in there. I'm gonna shoulder check him.
All right, so are you looking to do damage, or are you just be like, that's close enough and just push him back?
Hey, it's the latter.
Okay. So just go ahead and give me a bop.
Yes, good. $11.
All right, so no problems. It's not a crit, but I'm gonna say like you got enough to, push him back like 3 or 4 strides, and in so doing, like the partner in crime, if you will, takes a step back as well to not be the only one within close proximity. But he doesn't seem like, oh, you hurt my friend, I'm gonna kill you or anything, but he does start speaking. Well, we were looking to just have a brief conversation, and you seem to clearly trying to ignore us.
If you're gonna have a conversation, then maybe you speak.
That is generally how it works.
Yeah. Rather than just creepily come up behind.
Well, we approached. I thought I had caught your eye, and as I did so, that's when you turned away. Made it obvious that you had no interest in hearing what we had to say.
And so you came up anyway.
Yeah, we're trying to have a good night, and you're being all weird.
Well, you see, there's some odd folks about, and I've seen some conversations that have happened here and elsewhere. And is it true that you're running with an armadillo?
A what?
I sort of feel like we're standing here with drinks and not running anywhere. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what gave you that idea.
Like I said, I've heard some things, and some stuff happened recently. I'm just looking to do some fact checking.
Oh,
Just
like
answer the
what
question.
stuff?
All right. Well,
I did answer.
friend-
I just told you, no, we're not running anywhere.
Yeah, we're drinking.
I didn't mean this moment. You friends with an armadillo?
What's it to you?
I know.
Well, one of my friends was recently killed, and I'm trying to find the scumbag that did it. Told there's an armadillo involved. I want a name. Armadillos aren't exactly common in this here city.
I don't know. Do you know any armadillos, Jonas? There was one
Like-
here earlier.
I kind of remember that.
It was an older one, though. I don't.
But
They're not common.
not one of yours.
No.
All right. Whoever answered, start spitting. That's a bull-faced lie.
God, that's going to have to be us both.
What is
Roll plus magnetism.
magnetism? Okay, so
10.
this is good for me.
I just
I
rolled
have a
lucky.
two.
Jonas with a stone face.
Okay. Okay, so what do I do with the magnetism? Do I add 2?
Yes, you're gonna roll your dice.
Yeah.
You know, total them up. You know, if the numbers on the dice are, you know, over 6, then you minus 6. You discount your red die, and then you're gonna add 2 for your magnetism.
Okay, so the red die's away. 7, 6, and 2. Plus 2.
Okay, so the 7 becomes a 1.
Okay.
All right, so that's a total of 9.
Okay.
So
What's
that's
on
success.
your red die?
Was that?
What?
What's on the red die?
1.
So
Right, so
that's
9.
doubles.
9 with doubles.
9 with doubles.
All right, so that's success with consequences. You're going to take a -1 forward, and you can give a +1 forward. You know, usually in this situation, you know, you give it to someone in the same scene. So it's going to go to
Jonas. Okay.
So
What if we have a forward?
if you had a forward from last session, then that would count, and that would
And
turn
you
it
get
into
a
a
10.
success.
Okay, I have 1, so that leaves me
Okay.
with none.
All right, so that's going to turn your, you know, instead of giving Robin the forward, that's just
Okay.
going to give
It just
you.
clears it.
You're going to retain that +1 forward, and it's
Okay.
going to be a success. So you both have
Okay.
lied your arses off about you know, knowing Tumbleweed, and you know, they you know, the dude believes you, and it's like, okay, my apologies. I guess our information is wrong, and gonna have to look into that. The ladies have a actually no, Sugar's a lady, but Jonas is a guy, right?
Jonas is visibly gay. It's understandable to make that mistake, I suppose.
Well, you know,
That's homophobic.
It is a little.
so it would just say like you two have a fine night. You know, he gestures to the bartender. You know, next round for these two is on Tom. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and the two of them, you know, back off to the table.
Frankly, I'm surprised they're that cordial because this is Prohibition era. So.
They're nice.
So
and-
I think, Jonas, this is going to be my last round.
Yeah.
The temperament here has changed.
It's alright. One more drink and we gotta finish because otherwise we're running like children or something and I refuse. But once we're clear that we're not scared, we'll go.
Right.
All right, so the lot of you finish your drinks. Then eventually you make your way out. You do see the conversation, happen between, this head cat, as well as with Penny, who either, Penny did not notice you were here, Sugar, or what do you call it? Just didn't seem to pay you any mind. But the two of you eventually make your way out.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm a little more drunk than what I am.
Okay. To what end?
Just like slightly.
Okay. But what is your goal here? Do you want to, are you trying to lure someone in to try something?
Yeah,
or...
I'm trying to make it look like I would have been incapable of doing anything.
Okay. All right. Give me a start spitting.
Okay. That is magnetism again, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. 4. That's final one is an 11, so that goes away. And then +2.
Okay. So wildly successful. You are able to, get out of there and give exactly give exactly the show that you're looking to do. And you're safely out of the precious pea. Tumbleweed. You make it to the nice little crap. Oh, there's just too much information in this doc. You make it to the police station.
Okay.
And it's late, so there's one officer behind the desk. His little cap is tilted to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if he's awake or not.
I will wrap my cane on the desk and then just kind of hold it dignified and go.
So as you rap on the desk, the dog shakes. His hat falls to the ground. His long golden hair split down the middle. Dude, I'm awake.
I can clearly see that. And I take his hat up off the ground and offer it to him.
So you can see the name tag on his uniform says Officer Shore.
Well,
what can I do for you?
It seems that I have encountered some trouble this evening. I believe that these hoodlums, hooligans, people of that sort of persuasion have possibly thrown a rock into a storefront after they were chasing me. I'm not sure if they were just trying to spook me or what. They may have been drunk. I think there was a speakeasy. Give them the location of the speakeasy. I believe they were a bunch of cats.
as you begin, talking, he's pawing around this desk, but eventually pulls out, one of the little, flip open notebooks and pulls out a pencil, and he begins taking your information down. Go ahead and give me a start spitting.
Okay.
Remember, you got that -1.
Yep. Well, my magnetism is also one. That one's cocked. Hold on. Okay. This isn't awful. However, I already... No, that's awareness. I have a -1 in. Okay, I have a 1 in magnetism. So that is a 4 plus 6 minus 1 plus 1, so 10.
10. All right. So that is a success. So you are speculating that it's a cat, or that they were cats. But you
I will
don't
tell
know
him
for
that I
certain.
saw the silhouettes of cats. Is what I'm going to tell him.
Okay. All right. So you work in a little bit of truth and some possible deceit into what you're doing, but eventually, he takes all the information down, and he pulls out the radio, and he starts, calling several different officers. That there could be a possible speakeasy at this location. You don't go so bold to try and offer up any kind of password or anything, right?
No. I'm
Okay.
just going to tell him I was minding my business, having a nightly stroll. I needed to use the facilities and stumbled into a place that looked very much like a speakeasy, but I just sort of got in through the back because I was mostly just trying to find a nice place that I could relieve myself in a private space. Bladder isn't what it used to be.
Sure.
And I just was confronted by some catly fellows that were giving me some trouble there because I couldn't find the bathroom, and frankly I think they're a little prejudiced against old folks, and just kind of slipping in little things here and there about it. And
Sure.
Do I see anyone else around in the jail or in the police station currently?
So at the moment, there is a holding cell that is visible from here, and you can see that there's a kind of somewhat disgruntled koala behind bars.
But anyway, speaking of, may I relieve myself yet again?
It
It
points
seems
you,
this excitement has gotten the better of me.
he points you towards a room just over yonder.
Okay, I will go relieve myself and then just try to make casual conversation. Be like, so what's that koala in for? If you don't mind me asking.
He pulls out a ledger. Shows several moving violations, and was disrespecting the arresting officer.
It might be none of my business, but I am just going to throw out there that is kind of the cheapest thing that someone could be thrown in a jail cell for. And the only reason I bring this up is because you are likely about to have an entire influx of prisoners here in this facility when you check out that speakeasy, given how many people happen to be in there trying to prevent me from using the restroom, especially all those many cats. And I would think you would want the space.
Well, that's going to be a decision for the captain.
Really? I think that's a wonderful idea. I think you should call that captain right out here, and I can also ask him about the consequences for someone who might be sleeping on the job. I would love to know that one too while I'm at it.
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir.
I'm sure you don't. You were the one asleep.
I would never do such a thing.
Really?
As his eyes are already starting to.
Oh, well, that's fine. Then I'll just sit my happy little self right here, because I'm sure it's a matter of time. And I go take a seat and stare right at him. Knowingly.
So we'll pan back over to Rosa. So Rosa, as you speed away, 30 seconds later, you wind up having the lights flashing behind you again. What do you do?
I have to try and lose him. Seems to be my only option.
All right, let's get out of a jam.
All right. Oh, that's not great. All right. Well, that is a 7.
That's a 7. All right, so that's success with consequences. So you get away, and you got a flat tire. Or you get away, and your hasty turn has caused some of the alcohol to bust open.
I think some of the alcohol busted open.
All right. So you wind up, turning off the main thoroughfare and going down some side streets, and you play some janky stuff. You bounce off a couple buildings, but in the end, you wind up going someplace that your pursuing officer is just like, it ain't worth this, and they continue going on the direction that they're going, and you're scot-free.
Ooh.
You make it back to your destination eventually, once you feel safe that you're no longer in pursuit. About 15 minutes later for Tumbleweed, there's been a couple of radio calls back and forth between Officer Shore and Captain Jackman, and some other officers come in, and they say that there's some possible suspects that they're in pursuit of, and that the location that you had reported is under observation, and because of that, they're gonna let this koala off, and they come up to you, Boomer, and they say, apologies for the inconvenience. We're gonna let the aggression slide this time. You're free to go.
I don't say too much, because what are you gonna say so long in this movie? I scoff a little, like, and then just keep moving.
I will sidle up beside him.
And I gotta say, like, buddy, you stuck your neck out pretty far along for me.
Considering that I have such a short neck, that is rather impressive. Let's take a walk. I could use the company on such a turbulent night as this.
Well, I mean, we could go for a walk, or we can go for a drive, or like dangle my keys.
You got a vehicle. I would love for an upstanding young man such as yourself to offer poor little old me a ride, especially given this bad hip and all. And he kind of like exaggerates a limp as he takes 2 more steps.
So Zookeeper, I know I normally start off rolling for jobs and seeing what I get beginning of the day, but what do I have tonight? You let me know.
So I believe you're currently in a van, is what I had described.
Yep.
It currently has two busted tail lights though.
Yeah.
Oh, those
One
are
is
such a
just
shame.
out. One has been broken.
Yeah. Uh,
Looks like you run into some trouble now and again, young fella.
yeah, trouble. As I kind of nod over towards, the police. Like, yeah.
And he'll get a drive with him, and he'll let like about 2 or 3 minutes of silence set, and then he'll say, "So, what's your name, friend? Mine is Arthur Tumbleweed McCullough. Friends call me Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed? How you get a name like Tumbleweed?
Oh, I'm from out west. Used to be a banker back in the day. Ran the most successful branch out there in a little podunk town out in the middle of the cactus fields."
I mean, I guess out there, man, you gotta make something grow, right? Might as well let it be money. So,
Yeah. Only problem is that money seems to only be for the people that want to abuse the little guy. You know, give him the best years of my life and got nothing to show for it. Seems like systems kind of take advantage of you too.
you have no idea. As I'm like, I'm paying attention to the road, obviously. But when we get to like a traffic, just a stop, I say, Boomer, and I extend my hand over to you.
I mean, he'll shake it and he'll say, "Why don't you tell me a little bit so I can imagine exactly how these oppressive systems are taking advantage of someone like you?"
Man, look. I'm sure you heard of the Gumleaf War, right, man?
That's a good ways out from here. I don't even think this is the same country.
Nah, man. Well, did what I had to do to get in, get out. And, I made a little name for myself back out there. But at the same exact time, man, I just want to earn my keep around here, man, because you know what? The system takes you in and spits you out.
Yeah. You go out there fighting all kinds of possums and whatnot, and what do you got to show for it?
Not a damn thing, I'll tell you that right now.
A night in a jail cell after someone, I'm guessing not you, broke your tail light.
Just nods, like, yeah.
Wouldn't it be fantastic if once, just once, the predator became the prey?
In this life, buddy?
Yeah.
You really dreaming, aren't you?
Well, maybe dreams come true from time to time. See, I've heard tell of crime becoming organized a bit, and specifically a few bosses showing up here and there and looking for hopefuls that are looking for a name for themselves. And frankly speaking, after having been bit myself, I've been accruing some acquaintances and friends that I would like for us to possibly get the attention of one of these individuals to help us to give back to the little guy a little bit and rob from the rich and that sort of thing. And while we're giving to the poor, I mean, who's to say we're not poor ourselves, right?
Literally, as all this goes down, I kind of turn into almost like an alleyway type area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess put the car in park. You for real, man? Are you what are you? A bug? What's going on, man?
Do I look young enough to be a bug?
You for real? Are you for real, or are you just yanking my chain here, man?
I am 67 years for real.
Right, well, look underneath that seat real fast. See if you know merchandise when you see it.
Okay, he'll pull out whatever's underneath the seat.
So, before you get to the seat, you're gonna see, like, a bunch of, I I don't know what's Uber Eats in this world, dog. Like you tell me, you can see some delivery bags there. Some of them's really cold by this time. You know what I mean? Because I've been in jail for a while.
I mean, there wouldn't be Uber Eats, but I mean, drivers are known to, be doing some bootleg. So like that's probably like the kind of stuff you're looking for. Like you've got a couple connections, maybe with some speakeasies or whatever have you, and you're willing to deliver it to individuals for a little bit of peanuts.
That's exactly what I was aiming at. So whatever food you may see there, maybe it's some whatever, really, really cold at this point. You lift over the chair, you see some not high quality booze there.
It's shine.
Okay.
It's shine.
All right.
Eucalyptus rum. All right, man.
Oh, that sounds quite exotic, actually.
You can do so much with fermented eucalyptus, man. Rum.
That sounds absolutely
Anything you
delightful.
want.
I think you'll fit in quite well with my little posse we got going on. No offense, mind you, the similarity to the word possum. But
None taken. Words are words. What you gonna do?
how would you like to come and meet my friends? Provided that is that I can consider you a friend. And he kind of looks just over his nose and holds out a hand questioning
I shake it firmly. Friends don't leave friends in jail cells.
All right. And full disclosure, the guy we've currently got driving a bus probably should not have a license and definitely has an affinity for dynamite, which you should be intimately familiar with in a very short period of time.
Laugh and say, they don't call me Boomer for nothing, man.
Oh, dear Lord, we got another one. Jonas will not be pleased.
Would love to meet him.
Well, did we have plans to everybody else? Did we have plans to meet back up, or are we going to meet back up the next night?
I would think after the job we'd probably try and finish.
Yeah,
up.
I thought we had plans to meet back up.
Okay.
I just don't remember where.
We want to say we're going bananas since that was where we're delivering the rum.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll give him directions to going bananas and tell him, now, my friend runs this place, and it is not the swankiest place in town, but it is on the under the table side of upstanding, so just be cool.
Yeah, alright, no problem, man. Be as cute as a cucumber, don't worry about me. As I drive up.
So, as we see the clock spin and everybody arrives within an expected time frame, a lot of you arrive at Going Bananas.
So I literally trail right behind Tumbleweed because I'm convinced he got me to this location and stuff, but on the super duper off chance he's one of the feds trying to get me again, but for real, I'm just lead the way.
All right. And he will greet the very large bouncer lady once again. I can't remember her name. Bobby doesn't remember her name.
Where is that document?
It's been too many weeks.
Yeah, it's...
I will probably remember after this, though, because I forgot it now.
So it's not one. The bouncer is Bobo.
Bobo, that's right. So he'll say, "Good on you, Bobo, here," and he'll just produce a banana from who knows where.
Bobo the banana ukari.
And I got myself another friend for this evening. name's Boomer. Please be kind to him. He's just had a rough night.
Bobo wears a very small hat, so like he reaches up and does this as he welcomes Boomer in.
Yeah, I definitely tip my fedora as well, like my sir.
Wait, was Bobo a lady?
No.
Oh, I just had it in my head. Bobo was a lady. Oops.
No. Bobo's the bronze of the place, standing tall in intense stare. Takes pride in his job. He's the main enforcer.
Okay. So he will. Tumbleweed McCullough will lead Boomer in and find their usual table. So anyone who gets there before us will see him coming in with a koala. Anyone who gets there after will see a koala also at the table.
How are Sugar and Jonas getting to going bananas? You gonna hail a cab? You gonna hoof it?
Oh, obviously we're getting a cab.
Yeah, that works.
It's too far to walk.
Yeah.
All right. So then, if you're gonna get a cab, you hung around for a while. Tumbleweed went to the police station after a walk, and Rosa kind of had a runabout with the law and blew up an officer, and then was part of a car chase. So honestly, you guys could arrive in whatever order you all feel makes sense. So you tell me, who wants to be there first?
I think Tumbleweed, McCullough, and Boomer get there first, because our excursion was the smoothest, all things considered.
Sure. Who arrives next?
I feel like I would arrive last because I'm like trying to wait out the fuzz and.
Okay. All right. So Jonas, Sugar, you see Tumbleweed sitting at a table having a drink with a koala.
You gotta try this one, buddy. Here you go, man. I'm just offering different moonshines of eucalyptus flavor types. That's it. Just trying samples, you know what I mean? That's it.
It's very cough droppy. It tastes like medicine. I'm not opposed to it.
Oh, that's terrible. I wish I hadn't heard that.
Oh,
I sit down at the table.
Jonas and Sugar, I hope y'all didn't walk all the way here.
No.
We
It's been
didn't.
a while.
No.
Okay, I expected y'all to beat me here is all. Thankfully, we shouldn't have to walk too many other places after that, because my new friend here, Boomer, happens to have a vehicle. We just need to get it repaired a little bit, because the fuzz roughed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Jonas, do you want to tell him or do you want me to tell him?
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, by all means. Go off.
So, long story short, remember the bakery?
Yes. I
Remember
really,
the
really
cat?
hope you're about to tell me that you have procured a dozen donuts, including 3 cream-filled
No.
and no less than 2 crullers.
No. That's was it a bakery or was it the butcher shop?
It was a bakery.
Okay. The cat confetti, I think it was. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember
Yeah.
Rosa's little party
Okay.
involving cat confetti.
Yeah. Just gonna go ahead and say this now. We were dealing with the aftermath of the cat confetti incident,
I see.
and we met some cats that are not happy. And they're blaming you, the armadillo, rather than the flamingo with the boom boom. Did I cover that enough, Jonas?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, how
They're
sad.
looking for you.
How sad they have to target an old man. Be that as it may, Rosa,
I
the
need a drink.
dynamite-inclined one I told you about, Boomer, did in fact have a small scuffle at a bakery involving some cats, and no fewer than 2 cats ended up turning into shreds.
You guys just met tonight, right?
Yes, but I feel like I have known Boomer for many, many years at this point.
By this time, Boomer's been, sampling eucalyptus things and whatever the banana has to offer. So he's well saturated, let's say.
Sure.
Man, I feel like
Perfect.
I know this guy from all my life, man.
Jonas, we're gonna die. That's
Yeah, I understand. I've been paying attention. I see what you're seeing.
Oh, that's alright.
Well, so Jonas, would it make you feel better to know that I've been pondering and decided it might be in our best interest, if everyone's amenable to it, that we might try to garner favor with one of these 3 bosses in the city, possibly to get a little more, a few more friends, and also maybe a little more reason to our direction.
we just had drinks purchased by Tom. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's probably not the one we want to pick, because he made his cats into confetti and we just stole booze from someone he supports.
God, it went perfectly though. Absolutely,
Yeah,
without
that
a
was
hitch.
fine. But I think maybe we pick a different one.
Well,
Anybody but Tom.
Laszlo, and he calls to the bartender. Could you come here, please?
What can I get you?
So I was wondering, dear friend, who are these bosses that I've heard tell of? The big 3, as they were.
Oh, well. This is, even at a place like this, it's not something that, people tend to talk about, quite so open. But he pulls up a chair and, sits real close. It's like, well, things in the city, they don't always operate as everybody expects. He adjusts his suit as he gets comfortable. Furton City is a place of crime, but it's a place of order. And there are those that, kind of view this place as the puppet masters behind it all. You might think the government's in charge or that the police, have the sway. But depending upon which borough you decide to walk through determines who's really in charge. And whether you call them mafia boss, crime boss, you've got Carlo Hambino, the Hogfather, got many names, but he's shrewd, he's a businessman, and he runs everything he does like a business. But that means those that are against him are numbers in a ledger, and to some extent, the people that work for him can be treated the same way. If you look at Al Capone, she's the queen on high. She likes to sit in the high stakes area. She likes big gambles. She likes the big wins. She's ruthless, cunning. Sometimes you don't see her move until it's too late. Yeah. She fits right in with the hawks and the eagles as a true hunter and bird of prey. And then you've got Machine Gun Otto. He's got numbers, and he is willing to do anything to hold on to anything he's got that he wants to keep, or anything he wants that he doesn't have yet. Now, for the time being, each of them have their stakeouts in their own burrow, but those lines can always be redrawn. So sometimes on those fringes, you'll have some fighting. You'll have some mucking about with another's territory. You might just have some drive-bys. Plenty of people have been caught up in that. There's plenty of other small-time operators that are looking to get noticed. There's plenty of small-time operators that are comfortable working for a larger boss and paying them their fair share. Others that try to operate on their own and hope to just not get noticed. So, it's tough. Some think it's easier just to get out. Others are looking to, shall we say, get in.
Now, just for curiosity's sake, pure scholarly ponderings, let's say one was of the latter persuasion and wanted to know if you had any particular recommendations.
Well, if you're looking to get noticed, you could go with either Al Capone, if you're willing to make some shrewd moves, or Carlo Hambino, if you're willing to be a little bit calculating. Or if you think that a new star might rise. There's another mover and shaker out there who's trying to get noticed, but clearly is not in league with the other three. And that's it's Bunny Malone. She's carving out a small territory here in Scarborough.
Oh,
You know, it's a decision that only one can make for themselves, because no matter where you're going, you're going much more dangerous than operating one of these places.
I see. Well, thank you for the insight. Jonas, Sugar, Boomer, is Rosa here yet? He's looking around.
So I would
think
say by this time he's walking in.
Yeah, so I make my entrance, and I got a little bit of a sheepish look on my face.
All right, so I'm gonna be mean here. I want everybody to put their peepers to work.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
All right.
Well, everybody but Rosa. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's good.
Oh Lord.
Correct me if I'm incorrect. This is an awareness check, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright.
9.
Okay. 5, 4, 5.
So I'm also gonna get a 9 because the bootlegging ability lets me use my.
Mock.
Oh no, I'm goofy about it. My awareness is just that. I'm sorry, it's just 9 straight.
All right, so 9 for Jonas, 9 for Boomer, What do you got there, Tumbleweed?
Oh, go ahead.
Ted, I need to ask you a question.
Yeah?
What happens when you get literally the worst result you can?
Triple ones?
I got triple ones and I have a -1. So I got a 0.
How is that possible?
I got a 0.
Science said it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
You proved them wrong.
It wouldn't be a 0. It would be a 1.
Okay, it's a 1. It's an actual, literal 1 in every sense.
You've got triple 0, so you're gonna get XP, but you're also gonna lose a marker.
Yes.
Oh Lord. Do I just die immediately and lose all of them?
No, you're not gonna die immediately.
And suddenly
anytime you roll
Tumbleweed has a heart
triples,
attack.
anytime you roll triples, your markers change.
Yes. Triples with a success, you gain a marker. Triples with a failure, you lose a marker. Triples with success with consequences, you're giving one of your markers to somebody else.
Yeah, this isn't just failure. This is the ultimate failure.
All right, and what do you have there, Sugar?
A 5 and a 4, so 9 plus 1, so 10, and then the red die is 1.
Okay. All right, so you completely succeed. So when you last saw Rosa, his outfit was clean. The two of you, Boomer and Jonas, you also see blood on Rosa's clothes, but Boomer, you have no idea. You've never seen this guy before, so okay, whatever. He's just not clean. Jonas, you're not really sure what was going on, so you don't necessarily know where it could have come from. But Sugar, you know full well at the start of this job, he had done the proper stuff and made sure he was clean. So some kind of thing happened that would have caused bloodshed that clearly is not his to get on his clothes.
I'm gonna say it. We all know what happened. He's a mess.
I'll look over to.
It wasn't my fault this time. Amiga, listen to me. I was minding my own business, driving the milk truck back, when this nosy copper comes along, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong.
Is Laszlo
What was I
still
supposed
here?
to do?
Is Laszlo hearing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes a flamingo's just gotta do what a flamingo's gotta do.
So Laszlo speaks up. So you did what?
I got rid of the copper. I can't have him taking our booze.
So what do you mean you got rid of him?
He's gone. Poof. Boom.
The entire time I was looking over at Tumbleweed, like, sipping my drink, like, bro.
No more. Finished.
Confetti.
He looks over to Tumbleweed. What does he mean by boom?
Rosa is an aspiring magician, and he makes eye contact with Rosa because admitting that you murdered a fuzz in cold blood would absolutely be considered unacceptable in every circle. Isn't that right, Jonas?
Yes.
I'm sure what he means is that he performed a magic show for charity and made one of the police officers attending disappear. by crawling under a blanket or some other shit. Right?
I think so, but I don't think this English to Spanish translation is quite working for me. But I'm sure that's what happened.
Then maybe next time you want to, you know what? Let's go for a walk.
How about we hell, get me my my pick for the advice as we agreed, and then get everything dealt with before you have your little conversation.
The truck's out back, friend. This will just take a second. And he will usher Rosa to the door.
Before the scene cuts off, I just want to look over at Jonas, and I was like, normal thing around here? I was like,
So how does Jonas respond?
Well, yeah, he's gonna go.
Yeah,
with the-
pinching the bridge of his nose and just kind of like going head bowed. Ears flat.
All right, so we transition to outside as Tumbleweed and Rosa step outside to have a conversation.
Let me make something very clear to you. I consider you a friend. And also, I care if anything happens to my friends. And if they are going to be so stupid as to endanger themselves, I have zero qualms about beating the backside of their head bloody with this here cane until they get the picture, because we never admit to what we do. Especially not to others who are not in the know, or to new friends who we don't know 100% if they can be trusted. Do I make myself clear?
Are you saying this fellow Laszlo is untrustworthy?
I'm saying he isn't in that world. He just knows about it through proxy.
Doesn't he run a speakeasy?
Yes, he runs the speakeasy. That doesn't mean that he goes out killing cops.
Oh, well, you know, break one law, you break a dozen. What's the difference?
That may be your outlook, and that's a valid outlook to have, and I'm not even going to fault you for that one. But you need to understand, we have other friends involved with us now. And when you endanger yourself, you endanger all of us.
How can you be more careful in the future? Because I don't like it when you're angry.
Good. Did something right.
You're worse than Jonas. And scarier.
Good.
And Jonas is pretty scary.
Actually, Ted, I have
Yes.
my XP. Can I just add on intimidating? And spend my XP to add intimidating to my character sheet?
Oh, is that one of your skills?
It's one of my potential skills, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if you've got 5 XP to spend,
Yeah.
you absolutely. You
I
can
feel
level
like
up
this
at
is
any
an appropriate character moment to do that.
point. Sure.
So I'm going to do that. And then he will just look at Rosa and he'll say, listen, I didn't get this tough hide over being soft. Not on the inside, certainly not on the outside. But you gotta be smart, friend. Because you don't have a shell. You have these little feather things. And he kind of like ruffles them a little bit with his cane.
Yeah.
You'll go kablooey just as easy as any of those cats. You know about being finessed with dynamite, right? Like they're your little amigos.
Yes, they are. But don't let Jonas hear you say that. It makes Jonas very angry.
Well, Jonas is one of your amigos too, right?
Yes.
And it would be very sad if one of your amigos hurt the other amigos, right?
For sure.
Then, if you're not sure if what you're going to say is going to help and not hurt, shut up.
I see.
Love you, buddy. And then he'll kind of like smack your ankle with a little bit with his cane, not to hurt, but just like as a little tap. And then he'll like trundle back inside. Or bustle back inside, I guess. And then he'll look at Jonas when he gets back and he'll say, I think we're going to have a lot less trouble out of our friend Rosa.
Good. Good. I'm glad you took care of that. Thank you.
And
Just sort of like pat you on the back, but not in a condescending way, and I really appreciate that kind of way.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. Rosa will come back in looking a little crestfallen.
And I will buy Rosa a drink just to like smooth it out. I will intentionally give him one of the eucalyptus drinks and say, a recommendation from our new friend. I think it tastes like medicine, but also I'm old and like medicine is half my life. So.
You may catch him occasionally muttering into his pocket. Especially the more drinks he has.
So, in the middle of all this you're drinking, I say, add a little bit of honey to it. Really sweeten it out. Really good for the throat.
Yeah.
At this moment, we can kind of fast forward. Laszlo gets a look through your selection and chooses a bottle, gives a nod to the lot of you before he steps off, and then they bring out the the bartender to kind of look through the stuff and make a fair offer. And you guys walk away with a decent amount of peanuts for the antics and troubles that you got into to acquire. You got to stick it to Penny, the owner of the Precious Pea, who let Sugar go. And you've made one further step into a life of crime. So what are the plans from here? You settle in for the evening? You celebrate your wins? Or do you plan the next heist?
So, I think that before we split, Arthur's going to make sure that Rose is caught up to speed on the bosses, and he will leave with a suggestion. Everyone, when we meet tomorrow, have some thoughts prepared about who we might want to ally ourselves with long term, in terms of these big 3, possibly 4 upcoming bosses, because that is something that if we are going to continue this, we have demonstrated that while we can be successful and lucky, success only runs as long as luck happens, and luck is a fickle mistress.
Well, I want to add to that too, do we want to be a small fish if we go to the older bosses because they're already well established, or do we want to have a chance at being bigger fish and go with new?
Consider that if we go with bigger fish, that makes us more visible fish.
True. But I mean, the older bosses, we're gonna get the short sticks.
Won't be as needed. Makes us less secure. I definitely don't want to go to Otto. He's got so many people, they're expendable.
Yeah. I'm leaning rabbit.
Yeah, I kind of like that. She's an up-and-comer. She's in the middle of the pack. She still needs help, but not so much that she won't be useful to us. That's a good idea.
What do you think, Rosa?
Well, definitely not. Definitely not this Otto fellow. We can't have too many wild cards on the same team.
Yeah, and we did just add another one. By the way, Jonas, you'll just catch up to speed about our new friend anyway.
Yeah, who is this guy? He's all fuzzy and short.
This is Boomer. He
Hey,
and I
Boomer,
made
pleased
friends.
to meet you.
And
Extend my pole.
he
Extend my
has
hand.
he has a van, so we won't need to go stealing one next time.
Oh, I could have really used you back there when I had to outrun the coppers.
We just need to fix a couple
I
tables.
wasn't
So
supposed to say that to you yet.
So before when you said he has a van, I'm like, hold on, wait. Listen, I know people from here and there, and I procure vehicles whenever I can. Tonight I have a van. Tomorrow, I just live, and I just like shrug it off, saying, I live by the seam. We'll see what I get. But I promise you one thing, buddies. I'll drive you one way or another.
As long as we don't drive poor Jonas crazy, I think that's a good idea. Jonas is our he's a little fragile, but also he is our shall we say our problem solver when things get very, very, very bad.
I have a particular set of skills.
Right?
And just so we're all on the same page, since you were not here when we had our initial conversation, Boomer, Jonas does have a spouse, and he is not to know anything about Jonas's escapades with us.
All I do is drive. I got nothing to say about business if it's not with business-related people.
Good.
So, I guess our plan should be to reach out to Buddy Malone then? If I'm understanding everyone?
Should we reach out to Buddy Malone, or should we find a way to impress her? Like, what is she like?
Well, I think that maybe, just maybe, I mean, she's a lady, right?
They say it, diamonds are a lady's best friend. Maybe we do a diamond heist and impress her.
I was thinking we might even do one better and get the opinion of another lady. Sugar, what do you think we should do?
Well, I'm going to be honest here. I think we should try communication first.
Wild idea.
No extravagant gifts. Just talk to her. Find out what she needs.
That's a novel idea right there. You'd think they would incorporate in more movies and silent films and books. Books, they're things you read. I'm sorry, you seemed very well read.
Oh, yeah. I was confused how that went with gifts and communicate.
I'm sorry, I had an experience last night in which I had a moment where I could have sworn I was in some sort of one of those silent films where you have like a couple of the footsteps after my footsteps, and then I stopped and I took a couple more and there was a couple more. There's a lot going on in this brain right now, and not all of it is entirely coherent. Let's call it old age in combination with the eucalyptus whiskey.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to talk to her first. Find out where her territory is so we're not, ruining it, blowing it up, creating confetti magic tricks, skinning cats, or whatever else we're doing.
So, just to make sure that we're all on the same page about this, you are suggesting that we talk to her, and then he makes eye contact with Rosa, and do not blow anyone up in the process.
You make it seem like I blow up everybody all the time. I haven't blown up any of you yet.
And we also do not get caught by the fuzz. And he makes eye contact with Boomer, who is not currently there.
I mean, I'm just suggesting, like, maybe ask if she wants to go for lunch or whatever, or meet for a drink. Chat, you know.
I think that's a fun
Easy.
idea. Anyone good at calligraphy and note taking and note writing?
Actually, probably.
Because most of what I'm familiar with in the way of arranging a lunch is either someone wants something from me because I'm a banker, or someone wants something from me because I'm big and tough.
I mean, I'm a master forger. I could probably make an invitation.
That sounds like a fine idea if you're willing to take that on.
Yeah, I would say that the skills that you need to forge something are exactly the same skills that you would need to craft an invitation.
And it'll look real nice.
Yeah, I would concur. That would work out just fine. So is the plan from here to invite Bunny Malone to a meal and discuss some potential plans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I believe we have reached a consensus.
All right. Was there anything that anyone else wanted to accomplish, whether it be this evening or this session?
Yeah, I am definitely like gonna get food on my way home and bring it to my spouse, because we have been busy and I have not been like, I don't need a scene for this. I am just making a note that Jonas is bringing flowers home and realizes that he has not been great the past few weeks.
If anybody trusts
go ahead.
Boomer, if anyone trusts, excuse me, if anyone trusts Boomer enough to give them a lift, not necessarily to their domicile, but anywhere they wish for me to drop them off, I'll go and do that as well. If anybody wants to take a free ride.
Hey, Boomer, my new friend, amigo.
Ride with the koala. Sounds like a plan.
Yes!
You know about
So-
cars and stuff. What do you know about getting rid of one without blowing it up? Because apparently some people are very biased against explosions.
I mean, nearest lake will always make anything disappear.
All right. So are we going to attempt to dispose of the milk truck?
Yes, we must. We got to get rid of the milk truck.
All right. Who's rolling? Get out of a jam.
I can roll it.
All right.
Although, would Boomer like to help me out and break it up?
Would
Absolutely.
you like to break? All right. So roll a check there, Boomer. So you're gonna break it up using Moxie.
10, 11.
It's an 11. All right. So that's gonna give a +1 to your roll there, Dave.
All right, so that's going to be a 2 and a 5. That's a 7. Plus 2 is 9. So 10.
All right, so his help roll was better than your actual roll, but either way, it was still very much successful. You have disposed of the milk van. I dare say, do you hang on to the keys as a keepsake?
No.
Okay.
Leave
out
them in
of-
the ignition.
Out of
Leave them in the
Joey's-
ignition. Got it. Some people like to do crazy things. I'm always looking for, things that could come back and bite you. So over the next several days, you guys occasionally meet up and begin putting together your plan. When, where, how, and we'll get into the fine details. But as the time passes, you learn several things. Who would like to make an awareness roll? Who wants to put their papers to work?
Decent awareness. Oh, if you want to go for it.
Actually, I was going to ask, can I do one more thing? Just because
Sure.
now that Arthur's kind of taking charge a little bit of the team, he wants to make a point to tag along, not like at a distance a little bit, so that maybe like a few minutes after Jonas gets home that night to his husband, they hear a knock at their door.
All right.
And Arthur McCullough is standing there, and he has with him a dozen donuts.
And there's a little sigh, a little curl of a smile, and Jonas steps aside to let you in.
And he will come in and just kind of set the donuts wherever is indicated and say, I brought you and your husband a little something.
Thanks. It's
You're welcome.
mighty considerate of you.
Oh, is he home, perchance?
Just in the back.
Oh, well, I was thinking if you wanted, I would be happy to front to him that you were helping a poor elderly gentleman with a great many errands and tasks.
Oh.
Just because I know it takes you away from him a good bit, and I didn't want him to feel neglected.
Like, lowering his voice a little bit so that it won't carry. Just don't lay it on too thick. I don't want him to think I'm cheating. And so...
Enter the zaddy.
With all due respect, my darling Clementine is somewhere in the city, and she is the focus of my attentions, even though she has currently unrequited it.
Huh. Hun, we've got company. Jonas just not being very good at other people's pain.
Yeah. And so when he comes in, Arthur just looks at Jonas's husband, whose name escapes me, Bobby, right now.
Well,
I think
Jonas could
Robin is-
introduce him.
Which he would be doing, but we haven't played this game in a month and I don't remember it either. I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you want to come up with
Alright,
the name, or
let
you want
me-
to just say he knows the name?
Nah, I probably have it in here. Raphael, a lion.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Good job past me.
So he will look up at this lion and be like, okay, odd couple for sure. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but and he extends a hand. I'm Arthur McCullough. I am your husband's employer. He helps me with errands and daily tasks from time to time, and I just wanted to stop by and bring you both some lovely donuts and thank you for sparing him for so long, because I know that sometimes my errands happen at all hours. You know, I've got a heart problem and a hip problem, and it seems like these days the only thing that isn't really breaking down is the shell. And I just wanted to tell you thank you for sharing such a lovely, lovely animal with a poor old soul like myself.
So when Raphael speaks, his voice is soft but melodic. Doesn't seem to speak. He's not verbose. This man of few words. Yeah, so he thanks you for this gesture, and asks you to sit down and stay for a bit, and asks a handful of questions about different things, but nothing that comes across as prying. It's not like, you don't get the sense that you're playing 20 questions and that you need to justify. It's just, oh, you're spending time with someone that I care about, so I want to know more so that I can feel like I'm a part of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so basically the story that Arthur spins is a lot of helping with medications and running grocery trips and taking him places when needed, occasionally dealing with, just culture shock because he comes from out west, things like that, just kind of basically more or less painting Jonas as this glowing health aid for a weary old man who still has the occasional pining feeling for his darling Clementine, who lives somewhere in the city, but they haven't connected.
Now, I know Raphael would turn to Jonas and, and where did you meet up with this Arthur? How did you two get connected?
Well, you know how it is when you're going and getting a drink somewhere, and I know you don't like me going to some of the rougher speakeasies, but not all of them are like that. It was one of the more gentle ones. Everybody's got to wet their whistle occasionally, and he was there, and he was having some trouble with some young toughs, as it were. You've met me. I'm pretty bad at keeping my mouth shut, so I said something, and the rest is history.
No, there's a little bit of an eye roll when you mention speakeasy, and there's a little bit of a, feline grin when, you say the aspect of, I don't keep my mouth closed very easily. And, it's a smile that, like, no role necessary. Even Arthur picks up on, the dichotomy of this relationship, that Jonas is very easy to step in and do action and to talk, whereas Raphael is much more, calm in it. Even though he's larger than you, both, from a physical standpoint, but from a presence standpoint. He seems to draw people in just when he's in the room without even needing to say a word. Could be an aspect of what it draws Jonas to him as well. But he listens to the story, and he seems delighted by the whole thing, and a lot of you while away however much time Jonas and Arthur are willing to go into the charade, until eventually Arthur makes his way out, and the two of you go back to your regularly scheduled activities. So who was it that made the awareness roll?
Not I.
I said I would make it if no one else wants to.
All right, what do you got there, Carlos?
So I rolled 10 double sixes, and with the two, I have 2 awareness. That's a grand total of 12 double sixes. If that means anything.
Oh, double sixes. So double sixes. What was it? The enemy boss, and what else?
Enemy boss and neutral.
Okay. So you're going to get a -1 forward, but everybody else on the team is going to get a +1 forward.
Okay.
And what you learn is that beyond the fact that you guys were successful in your mission, there was a sloppy raid upon the Precious P. And while there was a little bit of alcohol on site, there wasn't a huge amount because apparently somebody went in and robbed them. So there is a little bit of a scandal going on. Penny, of course, made it out before anything actually got to her, and some of the the alley cats were rounded up, but King Tom was not. So he is apparently still out there. But you've learned that you can point the law at certain places, and sometimes it's going to work in your favor. But that's where we're going to end it for tonight. We'll meet back up with coming up with the final plans next time for having a meeting with Bunny Malone, if you guys can manage to set that up. So hopefully I'm not throwing Dave under the bus, but if you're interested in Zoo Mafia and you want to follow along with the Kickstarter, the link should be down in the description below for the follow page. We will eventually launch that campaign when we feel like we've got enough people following along. We have a whole lot of faith in this system. We really enjoyed the rule set that Dave has come up with and all of the fun things that we've been able to do with it. I've said it time and time again, and I'll keep saying it. Everyone I know who's played this game has absolutely had a blast with it. So we want to make it be a reality at some point in time. And if you're looking for more Zoo Mafia content, every Saturday I am putting out a new blog post to expand the Zoo Mafia lore or the Zoo Mafia rules or whatever that week gets me. Last Saturday I put out a link tree to put all the Zoo Mafia stuff in one place, so you can go check out all the different things there. And I'm going to keep adding to that page, so if you're super into Zoo Mafia, you can bookmark that page to keep going back, because every week it's going to have some more stuff added to it. And if we find out that other people are playing Zoo Mafia and doing stuff, I'll try to put that there too. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and until next